Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you truly for being here. I know that many of you have been covering the storytellers for months. From December 28, 2014, it is a day that fundamentally changed every one of us at ARCA. We lost flight, which is QZ8501, and we lost about 162 beautiful souls. Their life, their future was stolen, and I said from the start, this was my worst night, and I mean it. To the families and the friends who are watching, there is no measure for your pain and there is no adequate apology. But I want to reiterate that we are profoundly deeply sorry. Our response to this crisis was guided by three principles, which is the first one is to show compassion to the family above all else. And the second is to provide clarity in the environment of chaos and speculation. And the last third, to rebuild the trust with a concrete, verifiable and action. And I took personal responsibility for leading this response by flying to Surabaya to be on the ground. When the community mourned, we had to mourn with them. And we are an airline of people, not just a plane. And I will now hand over to Muhammad Isham to lead our operation team on the ground.
Thank you. Thank you, Gudi. My job was managing the chronology of the crisis. And the immediate priority from us was for the search and rescue star mission. I want to acknowledge the immense effort Basarnas, Indonesian National Star Agency, and the international team for doing the mission even the situation is challenging. The breakthrough come on January 7th, when the test section was located during the start mission. It was a critical moment because it means the black box which contained the flight data recorders and the cockpit voice recorders was within the reach. The recovery of those data was done on January 13th. We ensured that our team was fully cooperative by providing all necessary equipment and technical assistance to the National Transportation Safety Committee (NTSC) to support the investigation.
Hey, good morning. Our department execute the show compassion objective. We recognize that in a crisis of this magnitude, the last thing families need is bureaucracy. Our strategy was human-centered. Was set up a dedicated private family support center in Surabaya, Indonesia. So, the most critical component was assigning each family a single point of contact. This license was available 24 hours a day, bypassing corporate layers to give the family direct, empathic support and accurate information. For the public, our communication strategy was built around provide clarity and transparency. So this immediate personal engagement on social media was key to combating false narrative. We held press conference multiple times daily, not just to speak, but to listen and promise that we would not hide. Every statement was carefully debated, ensuring we share information only after it was officially confirmed by NTSC. We choose accuracy and integrity over speed, which is vital for maintaining trust during a crisis.
Of course, during with aviation, we have to talk about the engineering. My focus and the focus of our entire engineering division is to rebuild trust through verifiable safety improvements. The NTSC final report was clear. The crash was initiated by a recurring technical failure, a cracked solder joint in the rudder travel limiter, or TL, electronic unit, which then led to a sequence of events. The pilots attempted to reset the system, which inadvertently disconnected the autopilot and caused the aircraft to enter an aerodynamic stall. We have acted decisively on these findings. Our solutions are immediate and system-wide. First, we immediately grounded all similar aircraft types for mandatory comprehensive inspection and repair of the RTL unit.
across our entire fleet. Second, we have instituted new non-standard maintenance checks that go above and beyond the manufacturer's requirements to proactively detect and replace these fragile RTL units. Third, we completely overhauled our pilot training. This new curriculum, Solutions and Trust, emphasizes non-normal procedure handling and intensive simulated training on aerodynamic stall recovery for this specific aircraft type. Our safety culture is now focused on anticipating not just failure, but the human response to it.
We are not just a low cost carrier, we are a safe carrier. And this tragedy has resulted in permanent change to our operational DNA. And we have fulfilled our financial and legal obligations. By increasing compensation to exceed the international standard, we will never stop supporting the families. And also, this crisis has been managed with radical transparency and unwavering compassion. Thank you for allowing us to share our commitment. And now we are prepared to take your question.
Some families feel your personal Twitter updates were more about PR than genuine support. How do you respond to the criticism that your communication was self-serving?
Okay, I understand that sentiment completely, and I respect the pain. But let me be clear that my focus was never on PR. It was on leadership and accountability. So I chose Twitter because it allowed me to bypass the rumors and deliver the real-time and verified information to a global community that was desperate for the answer. It was about showing I was physically and emotionally present by taking the personal responsibility and not hiding behind the press release. That level of transparency is what rebuilding trust requires.
What is the final total cost of this crisis to AirAsia, and how long will it take for the brand to recover its
Right.
image?
The financial cost is significant, covering compensation and operational overhaul and the brand equity damage. However, we do not measure this crisis in dollar and cent. We measure it in the 162 life loss and the permanent changes we are making to our safety culture. The brand recovery will only happen when every passenger trusts us again. And that is a lifelong commitment based on our new rigorous safety standard implemented by our head of engineering, which is Mr. Amir.
Can you confirm if the communication delay between the pilots and air traffic control contributed to the crash, as some initial reports suggested?
Okay, thank you for the question. The official NTSC report had determined that the primary cause was technical failure and pilot action in response to the failure. While communication is always reviewed, our focus and the report focus is on the rather travel limiter fault and the subsequent of handling of the aircraft. Our role was to provide the investigators with all the communication record immediately. The chronology showed the tragic sequences of events and not a single point of failure.
How did the AirAsia support the SAR teams on the ground beyond just providing technical data?
Our local team was crucial. We established a logistic chain to support the heroic Basarnas efforts from providing maps and weather data to ensure that they have necessary equipment. More importantly, we handled the task of family identification by working tirelessly with disaster victim identification (DVI) teams by providing all the necessary crew and passenger records, while we allowed Basana to focus on the recovery efforts.
Sir, the final report pointed to a recurring technical fault. Why did AirAsia not fix this known issue sooner? And how do you explain this to the victims' families?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, that is a question we ask ourselves every day. The report is clear about the recurring nature of the RTS. We accept the finding. To the families, we can only say that we are sorry that our maintenance prevent this tragedy. What we can control now is our response. We have not only increased compensation to meet international standards, but our engineering team, led by Mr. Ahmed, has implemented new non-standard maintenance checks across the fleet to ensure no other family ever faces this pain due to a known component weakness.
Was the one-on-one family liaison system sustained long-term, or was it a temporary measure only during the most intense phase of the crisis?
Okay, this was not a temporary measure. It was a permanent change to our crisis protocols and our commitment to show compassion. The personal license system was maintained until every family's immediate needs were met and all claims were processed. For families with unrecovered loved ones, the support is ongoing. We view this personal system as an essential part of our promise to honor the memory of those lost.
You say you have overhauled pilot training, but the report indicates the pilots made a technical error in resetting the FAC. Is AirAsia admitting its pilots were insufficiently trained for a known technical fault?
We fully accept the NTSC's findings that the pilot's actions following the RTL unit was a crucial factor. Yes, we have identified a gap in the training, which is why we have implemented mandatory intensive simulator sessions, specifically for focus on the non-roaming procedures and aerodynamic stall recovery. The failure was technical, but the resulting tragedy was the human response. Our new training addresses this directly to prevent this specific type of scenario from ever occurring again.
You've grounded a similar aircraft type temporarily. What proof can you offer that the root cause, the cracked solder unit, is a permanent fix across your entire fleet?
That is an excellent question that goes to the heart of rebuilding trust. We have gone beyond a temporary suspension. The grounding allowed us to implement mandatory inspection and replacements of the RTL units across our entire A320 family fleet. Furthermore, we have instituted a stricter proactive maintenance schedule for this component specifically. We are working directly with the components manufacturer to track and improve the unit's reliability. And we check, and we now have multiple layers of redundancy in our checks to catch this specific fault before it ever becomes an airport issue.
Right, are there any other question? Because if not, that's all. And for this press conference, we will update any new information as soon as we can. And lastly, thank you for listening to our press release. We are regrettably sorry for the technical failure and more the loss of the victim. Thank you.